So we're now starting this 40 days, and the topic is co-creating, being a conscious co-creator with the universe. So it's really interesting. I'm wrapping my mind around that, and what I'm interpreting by being a conscious co-creator is being able to set a goal for myself and being able to achieve that. So it was interesting because a couple of days ago, when you had Bhaktan on the program, he said about this pandemic was almost expected. And I'm thinking, okay, so the universe has a plan. Everything goes in cycles. You talked about the geometry and the complexity of the universe, how it operates. So if I'm really a conscious co-creator, how is it that I could feel so powerless in this moment when everything is out of my control?
When everything is?
It's outside of my control. Right now, I'm under quarantine at home.
Got it.
You see what I mean? So
the thing is, and I'm sure this is only a reminder to you, is that things may be out of your physical control. We try to control things physically, our physical presence, our voice, our gestures. We seek to use these in a very powerful way. So when we come into a world where we are isolated or distant physically, as we are today, what about the more powerful level of communication? What about it? So it really pushes us to learn how to communicate at the level of thought, level of intention, and level of desire, and level of intention. How do we learn to communicate this at the subtle realm without a dependency of the gross? Because now fear in the pandemic is there. And this fear will ripple through people. It will ripple through the atmosphere. And it'll take over the cities. People will begin to feel fear in their being, in their physical being, on emotional being. When is this going to come to me? Is it going to come to me? There's a lot of fear. So here we need a stronger kind of meditative approach, a stronger kind of communication in the subtle world, like what we are doing, to engage people at another level, to remind them of the power that they have within their own being. The power of the universe is within us, not just outside of us. If we have a crowd of people, we think, oh my God, look at this massive crowd. But we are connected to all the people on the planet. We are connected to a massive energy field. If only we know how to link with it, how to engage with it, and how to work with it. And perhaps the most powerful thing is that the director of this game, the director of this whole play, whether it's the COVID-19 or whether it's any other human play or play of the environment, the divine is in charge. And I go back to say, when we abuse the divine every day in so many ways, in terms of environment, in terms of the animals who can't shoot us back, the destruction of trees and earth on the planet, the surface of the earth, when we destroy that, we are actually harming life. And we don't see that, but the moment the virus comes in and the virus becomes very destructive to humanity, then we wake up. So it's extremely important now to be able to go within, to connect with the power of the universe itself, and to understand through that connection, what is the meaning of all of this? Mm-hmm. Instead of getting to the people with fear and panic and begin to talk with them, why can't we talk to the one inside? And that one will lead us to all the correct conversations, all the correct information. If you are really tuned into the universe, the correct information will come to you. So even if there is information about fear, somehow it's going to find you the information about solutions. Because there are solutions in the space, of course. A number of people are sending solutions to us of all kinds of lemon and ginger and turmeric and all the rest. Of course, we need to take it with a pinch of salt, right? Because these people are just sending things. And of course, then if you believe in the placebo effect, they will have a bigger effect on you as well. I'm sure the placebo will also work for COVID. So, but you have to get people into that belief principle. You can't imagine the power of the mind. So my thing is that even though there's fear and panic on the outside, even though things are outside of your control on the outside, but what is in your control is your mind, emotion, intelligence, power of rational thinking, and the power to connect with the divine. And then we all have the support of grace in the inner space. Information will come into our minds through our contacts. Information will come to us. So we need to really appreciate what we have as a soul, not just a human being, as a soul, as the operating principle in the body. What do we have as a resource? Of course, I went through a deadly bacteria infecting my lung in 2015, but just trusting in the universe. When I'm sure you remember when everybody was fearful to even be around me in England. And but just faith in the divine. Faith in the divine. All the right decisions were made, even when I couldn't do it. The universe did it so marvelously. So I believe in that divine power. If we are attendant to this power, if we are connected to it, nothing is impossible. And I'm sure, although the virus seems to be more powerful than us at the moment, at some point tables will be turned.
Yeah.
That's my prayer every day, that they will find it sooner than later. But of course, we need to remember, what is the lesson from this? What are we learning from this? There must be a learning from this virus. And it shows the vulnerability of our world to manage a pandemic. It shows the traffic and movement, what it can do. If you have something in one country, what it can do to the rest. You know, I'm sure this is going to bring up new thinking, new regulations, new ways of doing things. So in any event, it's going to do a whole lot of good, of course. I'm very sad that human beings can leave the world so instantly or so quickly under such conditions. And for those, I have a lot of compassion. For those souls who want to leave the earth plane, for those people who are affected by it. And I'm glad when we can come together and really, really, in a very compassionate way, work with those who are suffering. So thank you for that.
So what I'm taking from this then is that I really need to go inside myself and learn to communicate from the inside and find strength in there and find answers in there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Thank you, Guruji.
And the power's on the inside. And that's where the co-creation is. It's working with the universe from the inside out. And of course, the extension to that is that you see what happens in the outer space when you begin to work with the inner. Changes happen in the outer.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mira. Namaskar.